This particular chapter is on chapter 8, is on training and developing employees. And what I am going to cover, it's quite an extensive chapter because, as you guys probably know, training is a course in and of itself. It's a lot of different things. There's all types of different training. But what I wanted to do is kind of go over some of the basics of training for this human resource course. So what I'm essentially going to cover is how do we do employee orientations and how do we accomplish onboarding for new employees? What is the purpose of orientation and onboarding? And we'll actually go through the orientation process. And I'm going to cover an overview of the training process itself and talk a little bit about employee law or employment law and aligning strategy, that is the organizational strategy, with training. So a lot of different ways of analyzing the effectiveness of training is to know how it actually fits into the strategic plan and improves performance. So there's something called ADDIE that is called the ADDIE 5-step training process. And we're going to be covering that. And essentially, we're going to be looking at the training needs analysis. How do we conduct one? For example, before we do the training, we got to know what it is that we need to do in order to make the training effective to accomplish the strategic plan. And then we'll get into a little bit about designing and developing the training program. And then we're going to be looking at some of the trends, 21st century trends in shaping human resources. That would be going into digital and social media. We're going to be talking about different types of training programs, touching on OJT, on the job training, apprenticeship training, informal learning, job instruction training, lectures, programming, behavior modeling, and it goes on and on and on. Computer-based training programs, team training, internet training, doing a virtual classroom, whether we have synchronous or asynchronous training. We're doing asynchronous training right now in this particular course because we're not online all at the same time. That would be synchronous, but we are responding to one another, not real time, but in different times, but accomplishing the goals and objectives of the course. So the other thing is, what is the strategic role? What is the organizational role in management development? What do we mean about succession planning? OJT, on the job rotation, leadership development, trend shaping. How do we deal with organizational change and Lewin's change process? Designing the study of how we're looking at the effectiveness of the training program and where we go forward with it. So there's a lot in this chapter, but I am not necessarily covering every single thing, but a lot of things that will be appropriate to be able to get the basics here into our HR course. And we certainly want to do this. Believe it or not, we're going to be covering this chapter in a day. Yes, in a day. Because this week we are covering chapters 8, 9, and 10. It's a lot. So we're going to really be looking at the importance of training, how to put a training program together, what are the essentials of that, how do we partner the training program with the strategic plan, and I'm going to show you some webcam videos, some YouTube videos, and they're going to be very helpful in getting through the next hypothetical question, which I believe will be, let's see, we've done 4 times 3 weeks is 12. This will be hypothetical 13. Okay, we're good.